All right, what's up, guys? So, just got done watching the Connor versus Poirier 3 uh, match, and honestly, if you watched it, it was very, very disappointing how it turned out, especially for everybody who's a Connor fan. I mean, it's disappointing for everybody, but more so for people who were rooting for Conor McGregor. But, I was someone who was rooting for Conor, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that Dustin didn't win the fight because he did win on paper, but it's he won the fight and it's like it's written in pencil, it can be erased, it's not set in stone. When you win by default, it's not a true real victory. It's the worst way that you can win a fight while still actually winning it. But let's talk about the first round before we get into all that because I do think that he still won the fight, but like not really that much. I mean, if there was a fourth fight between them, I don't know how many times that's happened. I think it's happened 0 times actually with a quadrilogy or whatever it would be called. I don't even know what the correct word for that would be, but if there was a fourth fight, I would still be down and I'd still get hyped up for that match. I don't think that this is over personally. And I think that they are going to eventually end up fighting in the future. Connor looked really, really mad during that post-fight interview with Joe Rogan. I mean, he looked really mad. He looked like he was real mad, not like his energetic, trash-talking self during the other interviews and stuff like that leading up to the fight. It didn't look like he was the kind of angry where he's like talking trash and stuff like that. It looked like he was actually angry and actually upset at the outcome. And it was definitely, for everybody watching, it was definitely anticlimactic. Everybody was hoping for a knockout, whether it was, Conor McGregor getting knocked out or Conor knocking out Dustin Poirier. It would have been it would have been awesome to see the fight go through in the way that it should have gone through. But unfortunately, it ended with Connor getting his ankle broken and being unable to continue. Maybe it was his lower shin being broken, but regardless, he was unable to continue, and Dustin Poirier won by default. And, you know, I said that I was going to talk about the round one before I got into all that, so I guess scratch that. Now let's get into round one. But round one, I'm gonna be honest, as a Conor fan and as somebody who was going into this fight wanting Conor to win, I predicted him winning by knockout in either the first or second round. Now, obviously, that didn't happen because there was no second round because he couldn't continue. But I'm gonna be honest here, Conor was not doing well during the first round. Uh, or said differently, Dustin was doing really well during the first round. I mean, he made Connor clinch during the first round by punching him in the face. Like, he made Connor clinch. And that's really not a good sign for everybody who's watching the fight, who's rooting for Connor. That was not a good sign at all while I was watching it. I was like, oh no, he just made him clinch during the first round too. That's obviously where Connor's most dangerous. I don't know if it's because of him gassing out. Well, yeah, I guess it would have to be because of him gassing out, but that's where Connor's most dangerous, and you made him clinch by punching him in the face, which is what he's the best at, is throwing punches and kicks. But yeah, Dustin was clearly winning that first round, and had the fight continued, I would guess that Dustin would have ended up winning the fight. But yeah, I mean, Dustin was doing really well during the first round. I mean, his first big victory was making Connor clinch by landing a four-piece combo on him. I mean, that was insane. It might have been a three-piece combo, but he landed a solid combo on Connor, made him clinch, proceeded to take him down, and then landed some huge elbows. And it was reminding me of the Khabib fight. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he was doing some serious grounding pounding on him. Dustin was looking strong in that first round, and if Dustin, I don't know if he would have been able to keep that pace. I mean, he was going really hard during that first round. I mean, I feel like they both would have been a bit fatigued during the second round, but obviously Dustin would have had better endurance, and then Dustin probably would have finished Connor off during the second round, or maybe the third. Maybe it would have kept going if Connor was able to stuff any of the takedown defenses or avoid any takedowns from Dustin. If he was able to do that, then maybe it would have kept on going. But I feel like had it kept going, Dustin probably would have won. But it's a fight and everything is super unpredictable. Conor still definitely had a fighting chance. Round two, Conor McGregor is still a dangerous guy, and he's still somebody that you need to be careful with. Um, because he can still knock you out. He still knocked guys out in the second round. And yeah, it could have definitely happened to Dustin tonight. But, obviously the fight was cut short due to Conor being unable to continue due to his broken ankle or shin or whatever. But yeah, it was disappointing to say the least. I was really looking forward to it. Conor looked super angry. I mean, I feel like this is not over at all. He was talking a bunch of trash afterwards as well. I don't think this is over. I don't think it's a real solid win for Dustin, but it still is a win on paper. He still won the trilogy, but just in like the worst way that you could win it. And honestly, some people might be thinking that like I'm being biased towards in Conor's favor, but I'm really not. If Conor was the one who, or if Dustin was the one who got injured and Conor was winning the first round, I would have said the same thing because I would have still said that it was the worst way for Conor to win, and I would still say that it's not really over and it's not a real true victory. It's not a knockout, which is what everybody wanted and what would have truly settled everything. Um, I would be saying the same thing if it was Dustin who broke his ankle while Conor was dominating the first round, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens from here on out, but I would totally be down for a fourth fight between these two. Um, but yeah, now that Connor has lost to Dustin, this might be a good time for a Nate Diaz trilogy. I feel like that could happen, and I feel like people would actually still be hyped for it because of the way that Connor lost, because it wasn't like because he didn't get knocked out or submitted or anything. He didn't like truly lose in a sense that he got beaten by a better fighter. He lost because he got injured and was unable to continue because he broke his leg or ankle. Um, so yeah, that's my take on it. You know, congrats to Dustin, but I feel like this isn't over. So overall, I'm going to give this fight a 4 out of 10, and the reason I'm giving it a 4 is because it was really entertaining in the first round. I'm going to give it that. It was really entertaining. Both guys were going at it. I feel like they were both giving it their all, especially Dustin. Dustin was going really hard in the first round. It was very entertaining for the first round, but obviously I'm going to have to take off a large chunk of points because of the way that the fight actually ended, which is a very anticlimactic ending for a trilogy fight, especially. I mean, it's a trilogy fight and it's a main event title fight, or not a title fight, just a main event fight. But yeah, it was a the ending was very disappointing, so that's why it gets a 4 out of 10. We'll see what the future has in store for us. With that all being said, thanks everyone for watching, as always, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.